Hi, welcome to the Action for Teens and Moms Health YouTube video. Our goal is to help moms like you to increase your parenting confidence, remove the overwhelm of adolescents, and improve your ability to engage your teens to achieve remarkable results. My name is Dr. Ayo Adenuga. I'm a public health physician and the founder of Action for Teens and Moms Health. Thank you for joining me today, and I really do appreciate all those that have left comments in my past videos, people that have subscribed, and people that have liked the video. At this point, I would like to ask you to subscribe if you've not done that yet. I'll really appreciate it. So today, we're going to talk about why teens do the things they do and 4 ways parents can change their attitude. Now, most times we see behaviors, but not the underlying motives behind these behaviors. Also, behind what we do, that is the things we say, and the things and what we do is the why. It's the why. Most moms have asked several times, why is my child doing this? The whys behind their teens' actions. And it's really painful for most parents, and I hear you and I see your pain. I've been there. It's really overwhelming sometimes when teens do contrary to what we would like them to do. But sincerely, science have shown that the hormones that are responsible for the body changes you see in teens are also responsible for their moods and some of their affects. But there's still a reason behind their attitude, and that's the why. Now, many parents are not just interested in children doing things mechanically or grudgingly. They're interested in the attitude while they are doing those things. Now, to say is that beneath the actions of teenagers are the wants and the desires. And we have to realize this. These are the things that really motivate them to do the things they do. I'll give a story. About 2 weeks ago, my son, my subgroup leader, invited my son to hike, Brian, that's his name, to hike with the men. And I knew my son would say no, but first I asked my husband, what do you think about it? Brian has invited him to hike with the men's group. And he said, oh, that would be good. That we will really learn from that. I said, okay, thanks. And he came back from school and said, hey, Mom, can we do some online shopping? And I was like, yeah, why not? Then, his grandmother had given him money for his birthday that just passed. And so he had that money. And I was like, before you spend that money, you need to say thank you. And a child that says thank you for what he got yesterday will have another one today. That's a Yoruba adage. Omotoba dupuri ano, arimi balini. So it was like, oh yeah, Mom, yeah. And I was like, good. But a second thing, Brian invited you to a hike with the men. He was like, no. I was like, yeah, I hear you, but why? And he said, I don't like going on a hike because I'm going to sweat. I don't even know all the people that will be there. And I'll be missing out on my Xbox because I have to come back and do all my chores while I've gone all morning. I was like, okay, I hear you. I hear what you've said. And, but I sometimes feel that way, even about work. I don't want to go or that day. But what wakes me up in the morning every day is 3 things. 1, serving. How can I serve today and solve problems at work? Second, how can I learn? What can I learn from work today? And third, of course, my salary makes me go to work every day. And I told him that these are the things that you could also apply. You may not want to go, but look at it this way. What can I do? You like making places fun, so look out to make the place fun. You like solving problems, look out for problems that you could solve. And secondly, you could also look at what you could learn from that place. I was like, oh yeah. I was like, right now, your dad and I highly recommend that you go for this hike. And the benefit is, number 1, you'll be benefiting spiritually from going there. That's another benefit. You'll be going on a hike in a new environment. That's something to look out for. You'll be meeting new friends there. That's something that you should look out for. You like making friends, so look out for that. And I was like, I can also hear your what you've said, your concerns. If you know you're going to sweat, put on something light. If you it spoke about your chores, I could help with that, so that when you come back, one or two of your chores in the morning, so when you come back, you could do the rest, and they play your Xbox. So it was happy to hear that, and it was like, okay, so am I really going to go? I said, yes, you have to go. So I was able to address the reasons for the no. And he went, and when it was just like, don't forget, bring out some gist or tea, like he calls it. And he came back and was like, Mom, I absolutely enjoyed going on this hike. I told them I'm going to come again. So we got a win-win situation in that sense. So sincerely, when we look at the motives of what people do, we're able to address their concerns, and we're able to help move forward with that. Everybody has motives. Even parents, moms have motives. Sometimes their motive for a child doing well might be that what people will say, how would they hear about this child doing this? Or sometimes I tell my children, clear up your home. What if a visitor comes in? Will they see the sitting room like this? And that is my motive. Or if your daddy comes home, doesn't want to come to a scattered sitting room, that's my motive. But the motive should be training them just to be neat, to be good, to keep the house tidy. That's enough motive to make them do it at the right time every time, and not only when a visitor wants to come in or because their dad is going to come in. So motives matter. But let's consider the motives of teenagers. Some teenagers might just be annoyed at any curfew. What is their motive? Freedom. Some teenagers don't want to answer to anybody but themselves. They grumble at everything. What do they want? They crave independence. Some teenagers are seen to be lazy. They seem to be lazy, but they are just scared of making mistakes. They are scared of being criticized. That is another thing that will make them not do what they're supposed to do, sometimes at the right time. Some teenagers just want to be with their friends, and they just want to increase their social network. Some crave for independence. Some teenagers crave for love. They crave for attention. I see them moving closer to people they are not supposed to move to, especially those that give them attention. And some teenagers just want to be who they are and say, despite my fault, will my mom still love me? That's something else that they look out for. That's their motive. So we need to understand where teenagers are coming from, and understand that the nature of the heart is naturally selfish. It's naturally selfish, and it's like, it's me. I want this, I desire this, I deserve this, I deserve that. So when a teen violates a parent's direction, it's not always an act of rebellion, not always to the parent's direction. It might just be that the teens want to do what they want to do. The disobedience is not personal, but yet it is personal. It is personal because it is what they want to do. They want to have their autonomy. They desire their freedom. They desire to be out of the parental authority. Now, studies have shown that by age 16, approximately 11% of the youth have oppositional defiant disorder, which can lead to conduct disorder. That's why at a very early age, parents need to engage their children and mold them to be who God wants them to be, and mold their character to do the will of God, mold their character to be of good character, to be loving, to be kind, to be humble, to be respectful, to not get angry easily, to love to tell the truth. All these are good characters that we need to build in the children. Now, the word says the heart reflects a man. And also, it says that the way of a man seems right to him, but it only leads to destruction. It only leads to death. And this is what parents see when they say, this child, don't this, don't do that. That's why from any early age, you need to have this conversation with your teenager. Now, to be honest, these conversations can be very uncomfortable. It can be difficult conversations to have. And we know that let's face it, it's easier to let things go. You know, especially when we are tired, we're just back from work, we are having to deal with our own personal issues. So we just want to just let it go. But it's important to have those talks with children and have them early and effectively. Now, when having these talks, moms need to balance care and candor. Too much of care will lead to a dysfunctional teenager. And the word says, "Folly is bound in the heart of a child, and discipline can drive it out." Now, candor alone would lead to a distant relationship where the child will say, "She doesn't get me, she doesn't understand me, she's always criticizing me." So the word says, gracious words are like a honeycomb. You know, it's sweet to the heart and also healing to the bones. So we need to combine and balance care and candor when having these conversations with our teenagers. Now, another thing is that your motive also matters is when you are talking to your teenagers. You need to, the reason behind your actions has to be that of care, and it has to be, the motive has to be to shape the child's heart to be aligned with God's will. Okay, when your motive is right, it can never go wrong because you know that you're trying to do the best. Now, this is where your parent leadership skills come in. I did mention it in my video too. You need to go back to it, where you're able to get respect from your child. But you also need to listen. You need to learn. You need to lead. If you don't lead your child, you would lose your role as a mother. And believe you me, the children will get it from different places. They'll get it from their friends, they'll get it from their schools, they'll get it from their books, they'll get it from their games. So it's your role to lead your child in the right way so that it would achieve its full potential. But one thing you have to know is that your teenager is your child, not your friend, and you have to get it right. You know, and people have mixed this up. They remove their role as parenting and say, "I just want my child to like me." Your child will not always like the things you do, but they would appreciate you for doing them. Now, before you engage your teens in this conversation, you need to think prayerfully about what can I do and what should I do to help. You need to ask yourself 3 things, and these are 3 A's from John Maxwell books as well, which I would apply. Is it an awareness when a child has repetitive negative behaviors? You need to think about it. Is it an awareness situation? Is it an attitude situation? Is it an ability situation? And those 3 things need to come to mind. So if you've not clicked the subscribe button, this is the right time to click it. And I'll go on to talk about the 4 tips and 4 action points you need to take to change your child's attitude. Now let's go. The first thing is to do it quickly. Give your feedback quickly and at the moment. Think about it. Is it that the child doesn't know what to do? So teach the child immediately. Sometimes you could say, go cook this soup. I was like, what? I don't even know how to cook it. Teach your child. Another thing you to do on a daily basis is to teach your child social skills. How to say thank you, how to greet properly, how to say excuse me, how to say I'm sorry. These social skills actually build empathy. They build empathy in the child. Now, if the child does not know about certain things, provide the information. Think about it also. Is it an attitude problem? Disrespect, defiance, and it's like, I won't do it, you know. You need to attend to it quickly and immediately. You need to confront disrespect immediately. For instance, you could say, I won't have that from you. You don't speak that way in this house. It might be to you or even to the younger ones. Because what goes on comes around. They need respect begets respect. So they need to respect each other. And so if they speak words that are disrespectful to their siblings or to you, address it immediately and give consequences. The third thing is you should have to do it calmly. It's important. Don't yell while they are yelling. It doesn't help. It only escalates the issue. And when you are calm when doing things, you find out that it actually helps a lot. It helps you to listen, it helps you to hear them, and it gives you a chance to understand what the problem is. The third thing you need to do is to do it privately. Don't do it in front of others. It will just lead to pushback. They'll be more defensive, and then it will give a negative outcome. So doing it privately also shows that you respect them. You call them in, later, and talk to them when they are calm, and say, okay, this is what I've noticed you've done. It's becoming a pattern. You need to stop. The fourth thing is do it thoughtfully. Now, you need to do it thoughtfully in the sense that you have to know what your motive is and what the outcome you want to see is. When you're talking to them, set realistic expectations and realistic goals and do it according to their personality. Each child is different. Some are wired differently. So the way they receive it and react will be different with many children. So you have to lead your child according to the personality. So if a child is an introvert and you're like, oh, okay, I'm having a party, go out there and go and do the MC. The child like, no, mom, I'm not going to do this, and the child is going to have a pushback. So you have to do it thoughtfully. You have to do it in a way that addresses their personality as well. So I would like to say here that I know while parents are thinking about how they were going to engage their children, remember that it's your child. And remember that they will not thank you now for what you're doing, but they need boundaries and they need limits. What they would remember in future is, my mom loves me. My mom cares about me and cares about my future. While you create these limits and feedback, they would protest. Yes, they will protest, no doubt about that. But that's okay. That's okay if they do that right now. It's okay if they don't even thank you right now. But when they grow up, they'll be happy you did. So thank you again for listening. I'll round up by saying the 4 things you need to do to change your child's attitude is: number 1, give your feedback quickly, do it calmly, do it privately, and do it thoughtfully. Thank you for listening. Again, please subscribe. Hit the subscribe button if you've not done so yet. And thank you for joining. See you next week. Bye.